Now, someone's on a date at a cafe, teenagers are hanging out after school, and you're texting a girl and inviting her to watch Netflix. But have you ever wondered what it was like for people thousands of years ago? Was there something like, hey, want to grab a mammoth burger sometime? Imagine you're living 30,000 years ago. No phone, no dating apps. You live in a group of about 25 people. You've known all of them since birth. And somewhere in that tiny group, you're supposed to find the love of your life. So, what did you actually do? How did ancient humans find a partner? First, let's talk about the obvious problem. Early humans lived in small bands, usually around 25 people. That's it. And in a group that small, almost everyone was related to you. So if you couldn't date your cousin, and they actually couldn't, it turns out, you had a serious problem. Scientists studied ancient DNA from people who lived 34,000 years ago in Russia, a site called Sungir. And they found something shocking. The people buried together weren't closely related at all. Even two children buried in the same grave were no closer than second cousins. These people already understood 34,000 years ago that mating within your family was a bad idea. But if your options in your own group were limited, where did you find someone? Ancient humans weren't just isolated little groups wandering alone. They were connected to a much larger network. Researchers estimate around 200 people, spread across several different bands. Think of it like this. Your band was your neighborhood. But you also had access to a whole city. And within that larger network, there were actual rules about who you could partner with. Not written rules, but cultural ones passed down and understood by everyone. Anthropologists who study modern hunter-gatherer societies, like Aboriginal Australians, see the exact same system working today. Small bands, larger tribal networks, clear rules about marriage exchange between groups. So ancient humans weren't just bumping into random strangers and hoping for the best. Archaeologists believe that ancient humans held large seasonal gatherings, times of year when multiple bands would come together in one place. Why? Partly to trade tools and food, partly to share information, and yes, partly to find a partner. These gatherings were basically the prehistoric version of a festival. And just like at a festival today, first impressions mattered. So how did you make a good one? At Sungir, archaeologists found thousands of mammoth ivory beads, carved animal teeth, and bracelets buried with the dead. These weren't just decorations. Researchers believed they were identity signals. They told outsiders who you were, which group you came from, and yes, that you were a desirable. It was ancient fashion, but looking good was only part of it. So what made someone attractive back then? For a long time, people assumed it was simple. Strongest man gets the girl. But the evidence tells about a more complex picture. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies show that the traits valued in a partner were things like being a good provider. Could you hunt? Could you gather? Could you keep people fed? Kindness and cooperation. Hunter-gatherer groups depended on each other to survive. A partner who was generous and dependable was genuinely valuable. Health. Bright eyes, good teeth, physical energy, and all visible signs that someone was healthy and would produce healthy children. Skills. Could you make tools? Explore unfamiliar landscapes? Predict the weather? Being good at survival wasn't just practical, it was genuinely attractive. This wasn't one-sided, though. Both men and women were evaluated this way. And the question you're actually wondering, was there romance? Did ancient humans feel butterflies in their stomach? Did they chase someone they had a crush on? Almost certainly yes. The neurological basis for romantic attraction, the dopamine rush, the obsessive thinking, The desire to be near someone specific is ancient, and we have hints of it in the archaeological record. The care taken in burial rituals, people buried with their ornaments, with ochre pigment, with grave goods, suggest deep emotional bonds. The time and effort put into crafting jewelry and art suggests that impressing someone specific mattered. Some anthropologists even suggest that cave art, painted 30,000 to 40,000 years ago, may have partly functioned as a way to show off, demonstrating creativity and skill. Saying essentially, look what I can do. So here's the thing. Ancient humans didn't have dating apps. They didn't have flowers or candlelit dinners or Valentine's Day, but they had seasonal gatherings where they'd meet new people, they dressed to impress, they showed off their skills, they looked for someone kind, capable, and healthy. In 21st century, we're still doing exactly the same thing. Only the tools have changed, but the feelings haven't.